So graphics. So let's get right down to it. Graphics, 10 out of 10. I don't think there's any way you can make this game less than 10 out of 10 on graphics. The textures were right. The the animations were really good. Like you can see the wind breezing through the trees. You can see the environment kind of react to you. You can see clouds moving. Um, so well done there. Moving on to gameplay. Gameplay and combat mechanics, game mechanics are all going to be merged into one. I just had to give it a rating on that for my review bulletin. So gameplay, I thought it was a 10 out. But that's not to say that graphics and whatnot, graphics, but gameplay. Um, it's always I always say it's an acquired taste. You know, there are some games that will have more graphics to more game. Keep on going back to graphics. More gameplay and game mechanics to them that some people love and are more comfortable with, versus what people said about this game. There was one YouTuber. Like I said, I won't say his name. Um, but he made one of the points about one of the mechanics that you could just simply throw your axe and recall it. Throw your axe and recall it. Well, if you do it that way, yeah, you're gonna get bored out of your mind. If you do it that way, if you don't take advantage of the in-game mechanics that are built into the system. Because like I said, I went baller in the game. I would go fist only in certain parts. I would go with my axe and just have fun. I would use the abilities, you know, uh, just have fun with the game. Use the in-game mechanics. Oh, it's so hot in here. Um, I did like the puzzle solving mechanics. It felt fresh again. Um, but I felt that some puzzles, some things might be a little bit too heavy on the axe. But but I don't think it took away from the game. I mean, it'd be like me comparing this to Batman overusing the tank. Um, Moving on to bugs and glitches. But before we do that, I did want to say, I think I said it was 10 out of 10 for both. That is what I'm giving the rating for gameplay and game mechanics is a 10 out of 10. Now, moving down the line to bugs, glitches, and lag. Yes, I did notice a few bugs and glitches on the game. Uh, the first one was when I played the event, the the extra content, I guess you can call it, the more of a arena battle. It was called the Maze of Nephilim. Niflheim time, none of the chests was open. I think one open and that was it. Um, so there is that bug. I think it's been probably patched by now. Um, uh, but that's aside from a few frame rate drops. I didn't really notice a whole lot of bugs and glitches in the game. Um, and it was usually the times that frame rates would drop was when the system was doing too much. The graphics were too high demanding. Um, I don't know if you can fix that with maybe switching to a PS4 Pro. I don't have a PS4 Pro right now. Um, but the frame rate drop is so negligible that I've noticed that I've almost missed if I wasn't looking for it. Because if you play older games or other video games on other consoles, it was the same negligible frame rate drop that I've noticed in other games. Um, so I'd really, so there really wasn't a whole lot of frame rate drops that I could, like I said, I could speak of. Um, and there are other issues in the game, which is reason why I gave it my final score of 9 out of 10, which I will get to later after the final score. Story, I gave it a 9 out of 10 for one reason is I felt that we needed more build up on the story, more time with the wife. We needed to know more about her, how he met his wife, because I feel like even though the quest is to take her ashes to the highest peak in all the land, she ends up becoming almost like a forgotten character. Like, we don't care. We really just don't give a shit about the wife because we have zero build up to her. Zero. I mean, I would have preferred, hell, having, like Mass Effect 3, we had that little narration of it. Previous games, I would be down for something like that at the beginning, giving us a little bit of the wife, and then maybe for like 20 or 30 minutes actually interacting with her, and then we go straight to the, time has passed several days later, and then we go and cut down that tree, and what we got is what we got, in the original game. And then we start talking about Odin, and we really don't ever see Odin. He is obviously we wouldn't fight him, but it would have been nice to actually have a cameo from Odin just once throughout in the game. Pretty much they've painted Odin as being a jerk in this game, and I just would have liked to see what they would have gone with for Odin. Like, would they have gone with like the traditional renditions of him, where, like not like the ones we see in Marvel. Something different. Because I love the World Snake. I love the fact that they brought the World Snake in there, because there's a lot of lore about the World Snake. I was immediately impressed with that and how they presented him. And that's one of the frame rates I noticed is like when you blow the horn to call them, it would kind of chug a little bit and then it would go. And that's just normal frame rate drop I've noticed with higher quality games. And it's nothing, like I said, I don't think it's something that takes away from the game. I mean, unless you're really stuck on time for like a nanosecond, then okay, you must be a very busy person. Like as I said, there's not a lot of bugs and glitches. There wasn't a severe amount of lag. There was not a over severe amount of frame rate drops. And I believe it performed 10 out of 10. So final score for the game, I gave it a 9 out of 10. Based on the things I said and based on what I'm going to be saying in my notes, which I'm going to get to now. So, notes. One of the things that I noticed, one of the issues I had with the game was when I was fighting the final Valkyrie, the Valkyrie Queen, she would, like, I would get down to the wire. Like, it was like I was fighting two bosses, really. Like, she would be down, like, this much health. And I died. And here comes Atreus reviving me. He's actually has the glow on it. And then the game would black out, saying that you had died. I'm like, I'm being revived. I'm being revived here. Why? So it's like I was fighting the Valkyrie, yet I was also fighting the game itself for reviving me. So I said that the time on that needed to be extended because it's just unfair. It beat her, but I felt that was the reason why I wasn't winning as much as I should have. It took me as long as it did. Um, I've already discussed wife buildup. We needed more time to care about her. Resource farming is something I wanted. I wish there was more of in the game, because you have the Valkyrie armor, you have several other armor pieces that need to be upgraded, and you don't have all the pieces. You only get them like the pieces are finite. So I wish there was like enemies would respawn, especially like ancients would respawn, not just having one per area or something like that. Um, and it would be nice if we had like tougher enemies to fight. I know that, I mean, we had our fair share, but um, this is where the QTE kind of I was talking to someone about QTE, and I said, as long as it's done within reason, it's okay. Um, but I felt that the QTE in the game, kind of overshadowed too much. Because it was just press circle and you do a finisher move. Or you had to press circle to rip the rings off of Valkyrie. I mean, the circle with the Valkyries I can forgive because she's not gonna that would be something that would be nice. I never tested this. I probably should have, but if you don't press circle in a timely fashion, she regains a portion of her health. That gives us a risk factor there. So that was something else. I just felt like there was not enough risk in the game. Like, you have to babysit Atreus, but I don't. I mean, I think the game fails if you don't rescue him. But I felt there's too much. He's not a damsel in distress, I should put it there. But there are times, like when you're playing like Niflheim and stuff like that, that he will be, grabbed, and you have to go and get him, or go kill the enemies to release him. So I covered that. Harder to upgrade materials, more. So here's another thing I think would have added to the game is more mobility. Like, if you go back to like the previous iterations, so this kind of gets back to where I was saying that the character moves around too stiffly. Is in the original God of War, you can jump up in the air and you can do like crazy stunts. I get it. Kratos is older now. He's not as spry as he used to be, but still, it would have added. It would have been a little bit nicer if we could like jump up in the air and toss our ass, we call it, while we're in the air, or hell, do like a spear ball move like from Dragon Ball Z, where what was his name? Yamcha does his little spirit ball and is able to go like nya, 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 nya. That would have been pretty cool. But yeah, I felt the character like I said, moved too stiffly. He needed more mobility, more than just step back and roll. We just saw. We did talk about frame rate drops, but there is something about the story. I wish the main story was longer. Like I said, you can go through the whole story in a short amount of time. The story should have been much longer. At least that's what I initially felt. I mean, the game, like I said, the game itself will take you a couple of weeks if you take your time. If you go and look for every chest, look for every rune chest, every collectible, it's going to take you a couple weeks. Or if you're like me, who only is able to stream or play for a few hours a day, it's gonna take you a while. But I would have preferred more in the story. So I'm gonna jump a little bit since we're talking about story. Is I would have preferred more bosses. I know that's kind of weird to say, but if you think about it, more bosses would have made better. I mean, not just like the ancients and the soul eaters, that had boss bars on them, or the trolls. I mean, I want some big ass monsters, some big guys to fight. Like the only like challenging fight, and I say challenging, was just before. Like, let me give you an example. Like, I'm playing Bloodborne. I've been playing Bloodborne for the past couple weeks, and I got to the point where I'm doing the Chalice dungeons, and I'm fighting the I think it was called the Headless Beast or something like that. Blood something beast. That thing took up the whole freaking screen. To the point, like, if I'm on a wall, my camera's going through him. But he was freaking tough. I want that kind of reward system. You know, a boss that is hard and it makes you want to pull your hair out, but you get there and you're like, ah, and you're bald in certain spots from pulling your hair out, but you know, you have that sense of accomplishment there. That's what I'm asking for. Not this stupid QTE shit. And that was where it brought me to another point. Is the jumping mechanics or the climbing mechanics when you're playing the game. It's too. I mean, I get why it's highlighted because you're pretty much going to press circle or X anyway, but I felt it was just a little too automatic. If that makes any sense to you guys. If you played previous God of Wars, which I've been meaning to do, I've just been hogtied with other things. Even though you press like up and square, up and X, or up and circle, it's still not. I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's highlighted. I felt it was automatic. So let's go here. Oh, so this brings me to my next point. You know how on YouTube people were talking about how Kratos will say, boy, boy, way too much? There's a counter to that one. Because it's 10 times more annoying. Because you can't tell him to shut up. Is Atreus will say, I wish Mom was here. Over and over. Like, I understand it, like, the first time you hear it. But throughout the whole game, even after he beat it, he says, I wish Mom was here. Like, that counter actually goes up higher than Kratos, I think. Or he's at least at equal footing with that. Give us some more dialogue. Give us some more dialogue. Hell, you know what? Instead of boy, how about Kratos says kid? Or Atreus more. Or Atreus says, thank you, Dad, for saving my life again. Or something. So I'm glad you're here. It would be nice. A nice little change would be nice. So this is something I've heard that is changing with the current new patches is they're giving us more bigger wording. So I was tempted to take that out, but this is based on my current when I wrote the reviews. So I'm glad that they are fixing that, giving us bigger wording, because that's the biggest problem I've had with video games for a while. Like when I play, you guys have ever watched my, some of you guys might have watched my Dishonored 2. I wish I would have saved that video. Is I had to take out my phone, push camera, zoom to actually read a code because it was highlighted in red and it was so small that the glare was blurring the two. So I had to use my camera. So I'm glad they're fixing that issue. Thank you, Corey, for listening to that. Someone listening in the gaming development community for actually answering that call. Thank you. This is all to the other game developers. Freaking make your words better. I mean, we're not supposed to be sitting so close to the TV that it hurts our eyes. Come on, man. I've also heard here. When I heard there was going to be a new game plus for Witcher, we only get one playthrough, another playthrough, then we have to make another profile. I don't like that. For one reason. 1 second. I don't like that because you spend hours farming all this stuff, or getting all this stuff. You spend hours on this character. You spend time getting this stuff. And you're maxed out. You want to feel badass. Why not let us continue playing it as many times as we want? Hell, I think the highest you can go on Bloodborne or Dark Souls is plus 10. New game plus 10, or I think it's 12. I don't know. I've never reached that high. I only know based on other people's videos. But let's just play this continuously, as many times as you want. And I know there's an argument out there that says New Game Plus robs gamers of whatnot. No, and I'm going to say this right now. It don't. It does not rob you of anything. If you really want to start over, all you do here, I'll show you, okay? Okay, so here's your continue. To continue your current session. Load game. New game. All you have to do is press new game to start over. Doesn't rob you. All it does is add on to the game. It gives you an option to, like, what if you really don't want to start over again? There you go. Even though there's not a whole lot of difference, in my opinion, if you play a new game, because it's a brand new game, because you're going to end up having the same result. Just saying. Oh, that's another thing. If you do all the activities and kill all the enemies to farm for experience, that's also going to add on to your playtime. So where are we? We talked about New Game Plus, starting a new game, more bosses. So, touching on that a little bit, I talked about making them bigger and harder. My favorite bosses were the Valkyries, because they are insanely hard, and I had more enjoyment out of that. So, like I said, make bosses like that, but give us more of that versus QTE stuff. Even though the QTE is at the very end of the fight, where you just press circle to rip off the wings. I said I asked for more gods because we really only fight Boulder and his nephews. And one of the coolest things that I thought was cool is that I thought we were going to be fighting this giant when Freya reanimated him. Nope. Because I said, levels without, puzzles and levels without a boss at the end of them felt just like doing a puzzle. Now, I'm not saying nothing's wrong with doing a puzzle, but I think doing the puzzle and getting to the end and actually fighting the boss is a little bit more rewarding than solving a puzzle. So I'm going to wrap this up and tell you guys what... Stupid bug. Give you my opinion. I've already given you guys my opinion, 25 minutes of my opinion. Should you go out, if you have a PS4, should you go out and buy this game? Yes. Absolutely. If you're looking for a game that's going to keep you entertained until you find something new, or you're looking for an action-adventure game with puzzle solving, this is your game. And it's only going to get better, because from what I understand, Cory Barlog has intentions of continuing supporting of this game for years to come. Probably until they make the next God of War installment. Now, would this be a console seller? Yes. If you don't have a if you haven't had PlayStation before, I would strongly recommend you getting this game along with your PlayStation. This or Bloodborne, depending on how patient you are with Bloodborne. But definitely, this would be a perfect game for anyone starting just getting into PlayStation, because this game definitely has that reward factor. Definitely has easing you into a game kind of feel to it. Despite what I said about it, despite what I nitpicked about it, it's still a fantastic game. I would strongly recommend you getting it, especially PlayStation with it. And that is the Wookiee review of God of War. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. If there's anything I could touch on, anything you guys could say that I need to improve on, please be free to message me on Twitch. And let me know what you guys what I need to improve on, what kind of job I'm doing, because I'm trying to make a go of these reviews. I'm trying to save them and learn from my reviews. I'm actually trying to make notes about them. As you guys saw me reading, well, you can't see me reading see my computer, but it's right here, reading off the notes I've made. So speaking off the review, I won't be streaming again till Friday, because Friday I will be doing my E3 coverage. Yes, I'm not going to I can't fly out to LA and go to the conference. But what I do every year is I compile data, compile everything from various sources of E3, and I give you guys my opinion of the most anticipated games, why they're anticipated, why I think they're going to be good. Sometimes sometimes I'm pretty much, I'm wrong. I'll admit I'm wrong some of the time. But if you guys are looking for E3 coverage, I will be doing that on giving you guys a massive feed on that. And we'll be playing Horizon Zero Dawn on that day. So, I hope you guys are all having a fantastic day. I hope you guys continue to do so throughout the rest of your day. And I'll see you guys on the next Angry Wookiee Show. I'll see you guys later.